I was walking along the beach this morning when I came across a friend I hadn't seen in a while. We got talking. I told her the topic of this book. Immediately she said, it's hard to explain suffering unless you've experienced it.
You know, suffering certainly exposes our vulnerability and the fragility of life, really. For me, it was going along beautifully for 33 years, and then on a Sunday back in 1996, that changed like that when the Port Arthur massacre happened. I lost my wife, I lost my 2 children.
The sufferer is dealt a challenge. How to find the words and means to express an experience they have been struck dumb by.
The questions are sometimes more overwhelming than the actual event. You know, why? Why wasn't I there? All those questions.
The question for the carer or friend is how to be with the sufferer when they can't taste that suffering.
I know for me, I had my parents fly down the next day, my brothers, my cousins, my uncle, and we sat at the table in the kitchen for the next 3 or 4 nights, and there was a lot of tears, but there was a hell of a lot of laughter. There was a lot of talking about, things that had happened.
Most of all, I wish to express my enormous gratitude to the storytellers who peopled the book, and one of them are here tonight. The genesis of the book began with a phone call. My eldest daughter called me from interstate, from Melbourne, where she had begun a university degree. What transpired then was the deepest and most revealing conversation we'd ever had. She was facing education and health challenges and was completely at sea and thinking about giving up. I noticed that I felt different inside. Something had changed. I realized that my internal compass was pointing in a new direction, away from my own needs and towards love. And I suspected that this was because of suffering and the work that suffering had done on me, that I changed in good ways in my response to the intense suffering I'd experienced a few years earlier. So I became curious. What is suffering? How does it differ from pain? And how do we survive major suffering? How can it be a catalyst for growth?
All I can say is how brave and courageous is David Roland to be writing a book about the one thing that every person would rather not experience. I want to thank him for doing it, because there's a lot of people will benefit from this book.
Ultimately, it's an uplifting read. It's a book for people who are going through suffering or have recently been through some major life crisis, but it also addresses how to be with somebody when they're going through such a crisis, particularly in the aftermath.
The personal stories that follow are my attempt, David's attempt, to provide a taste of suffering and to demonstrate the transformative power that suffering offers us.